Live from the campus of the University of Alabama, it's WVUA's live coverage of the University of Alabama's Homecoming Parade on WVUA.
You're looking live at University Boulevard, which runs through the heart of the Capstone, and we're moments away from the 2014 University of Alabama Homecoming Parade. A beautiful day. Folks coming out in droves, lining the streets here along University Boulevard, waiting for that parade to roll through. A gorgeous day for a parade, if I might say so myself. And welcome to WVUA's live special report from the University of Alabama campus. It is homecoming at the Capstone, and your home team is bringing you live coverage of the 2014 Homecoming Parade. This year's theme, Tied Together, celebrating the Capstone spirit. Joining me this year, once again, a WVUA tradition, First Lady of Alabama football, Miss Terry Saban, the one and only. Always great to work with you, Miss Terry.
I'm really honored that you invited me again, Lynn. It's become a tradition in our home, and everyone says, "Are you doing it again this year?" I said, "Well, I haven't heard from Lynn. I don't know. I haven't heard anything yet." But I do appreciate being a part of this, and I'm honored. And there's no place I would rather be on this absolutely gorgeous fall day. I think it's a great way to kick off the holiday season. We've got Thanksgiving just
Yes.
around the corner. And I'm already preparing my house. We usually have about 30 people for Thanksgiving.
A big Thanksgiving.
Including some players who are a little too far away to go home for the holidays. And, you know,
Yes.
we play a game soon after that, so they can't.
I think there's a small game right after Thanksgiving.
They can't go
remember.
too far. That's right.
Right.
So we're excited about the holidays and certainly about this beautiful homecoming parade just around the corner.
I know it's going to be here in just a few minutes, and those of you watching us at home, so glad to have you with us today. And you are in store for a great show today, and glad you're spending your Saturday morning with us here on WVUA. We have special reports, also a WVUA fan favorite, the Ask Terry Anything segment, and a whole lot more. And it's also a time we're going to get to know Miss Terry Saban a little bit better. And this is a time not just for the students, Terry, but also the whole community. I think when people are coming in and around the campus, you really have a family atmosphere out here. We've seen babies, we've seen moms, dads, we've seen some cute dogs too.
I think that's one of the things I love about college football, so much more than the pros, is it's really about the whole family. Now think about what activity can you do where you bring all of your children and you bring them to the game and you bring them to the parades and they grow up knowing the traditions of the university. I think you can't do any better as far as entertainment for your family.
And it's all about fun, and I know since I saw you last, Miss Terry, I heard that you were having a good time with Nick recently, maybe doing a little dancing.
Oh, that.
How about
when else we had a good time recently?
Well, we won't go into those details,
Okay.
but let's take a look. I'll show you what I'm talking about. So what do you have to say for yourself here? That looked like you were having fun.
It was
You're
at
having
the
a good
radio show. I have to tell you, I don't blush very often, but I actually was blushing there because he shocked me. He liked that song. So he tapped me on the shoulder, and we did have fun, actually.
And I like that. My favorite part is the little dip at the end where you just sort of dip back.
I used to
like
dip much better.
throwing caution to the wind. Let's look here. Oh, you want to dance, baby? He's saying, and you're like, yeah,
of course.
let's do this.
Of course. Oh,
You guys have pretty good
have
rhythm.
fun. And you know, people don't know this, but when we have recruiting parties at our house, have you heard about this? When we have recruiting parties at our house, we have a big karaoke machine, and we end up, everybody sings, and we end up line dancing, and we've got the parents and the coaches, and Nick comes up and line dances.
And this is at your house, right?
It's at our house.
Okay, I've been to that room, the big party room.
That's the recruiting secret.
Yes.
Karaoke.
Having a good time. Well, a lot of folks partying and having a good time here on the campus. Homecoming, of course, means a week full of fun and festivities. And last night here on the UA campus, all the Alabama alumni, fans, and students packed the UA quad for the annual pep rally and bonfire. You're looking at it right there. Performances by Big Al. There's Eli Gold. The UA cheerleaders were there, and of course the $1 Million Band. And Alabama head football coach Nick Saban stopped by and spoke to the crowd. That would be Terry's personal favorite. And he even brought a few of the Tide football players along with him. So a great night out there on the quad.
It's great traditions. And, every Friday night before a game, I go with whatever company we have. We have a little dinner that we go to, and Uncle Sid and Aunt Fran and Nick's assistant Linda Leone, and we went to dinner last night, met so many people from out of town who were here for the game, here for homecoming, from all over the United States. So it truly is a good homecoming.
And a sure sign of homecoming here at the Capstone when they light up that big bonfire. If that doesn't get you heated up, I don't know what will. These Alabama fans, the young and the young at heart, watch Tuscaloosa Fire Rescue set that wood ablaze. A really nice night for a fire last night because it was a little bit chilly. And of course, the homecoming festivities kick off long before the parade. The students kicked off Homecoming Spirit Week with a powder puff football game also. That happened on Sunday. That's where students all around campus participate in a friendly competition to earn some homecoming points for their various organizations. And it may not be as hard-hitting as SEC football, Terry, but the game's still pretty hotly contested. They bring out their loud fans and their big support groups to cheer them on in a really fun homecoming tradition. Then on Monday, also my birthday, by the way, the students and even some businesses in downtown Tuscaloosa kicked off homecoming week by painting the town red. They make it look gorgeous around here. That competition started Monday with the theme Tied Together. And this pairs students with local businesses to paint their storefront windows with Alabama slogans and nice pictures. Elizabeth Henderson, who's the director of that Paint the Town Red project, says this event is really something the entire community can get involved with.
We just something that the entire community can participate in because we're bringing in all the local businesses as well as the student organizations on campus. I think it's a great way of partnering locally with everybody.
And Kappa Alpha Theta was declared the winner. Congratulations to them, helping decorate Mellow Mushroom in downtown Tuscaloosa. And some University of Alabama students found a new creative way to help celebrate homecoming with the help of the community, tying into this year's theme, Tied Together, celebrating the capstone spirit. Apparel design students and some local artists came together for an art project competition called Les Arts de la Mode. I hope I'm saying that right. They were in teams of 6. The groups all dressed a mannequin to match the atmosphere of different downtown restaurants like Mellow Mushroom, Roly Poly. Jim and Nick's Barbecue is also one of them. Participant and student designer LaCoya Robinson told us the project is a way to learn more about Tuscaloosa and everything it has to offer.
I'm a crafty person, I'm an artsy person, so I like doing stuff like this. Plus, it gives me more exposure to the art world that's here in Tuscaloosa and to look forward to in the future.
And winner for this year's project is Team Roly Poly with the mannequin Zelda, the Flapper Rapper. I like that name. The
That's
flapper wrapper.
Cute little outfit too. We might have to look into that for the holidays.
Yes, we'll have to get us one of those. And students all across campus got pretty creative also with some canned goods for a good cause. You know, Terry, it's that time of
Yes.
year where, especially heading into the holiday season, we've got to think about those who may not be as fortunate. And it's something that they call Canorama, and students and their organizations make all type of can formations. We've got some video of that. They made all kinds of designs for their organization, things that you would normally think of making out of cans. It happened over at the Ferguson Center here on the campus. And the big can formation event completes the annual Beat Auburn, Beat Hunger canned food drive, which we always want to beat Auburn in every possible way.
You know, there are a lot
that
of
we
good
can.
things that surround football. It's not just about what happens on the field. I think there are blood drives and there are canned food drives, and West Alabama Food Bank certainly is a recipient, a winner, because both schools come together to raise funds. So a lot of good things happen around the game of football.
Oh, that's absolutely right. And that West Alabama Food Bank serves so many local agencies, and where people that wouldn't normally otherwise have a nice hot meal for Thanksgiving, for example, they can come and get a nice hot meal at areas like the Soup Kitchen and Salvation Army. So the food bank, if you made a donation to that, thanks for that, because you really helped out a great cause. Well, another homecoming favorite at the Capstone, you know, earlier we were talking about dancing. So you'll like this one, Miss Terry. Take a look at this. Students hitting the dance floor. This was Wednesday night at Coleman Coliseum. Different groups coming out to show off their very best dance moves. The crowd got a chance to see everything from pop, improv, and hip hop. Phi Mu took home first place.
Right.
Alpha Omicron Pi took second, and Chi Omega won third place. Was that a shout out for Phi Mu?
Well, you were, yes, you're sitting next to a Phi Mu alum. I used to be able to dance just like that.
I think you probably could. I think you probably could. Also, Kappa Delta, I want to mention, they won most original dance routine. So congratulations to all those
Lot of
outstanding students. They look really
There
good.
truly is something for everyone this whole week of homecoming.
Oh, there really is. We've got also some students got to stepping out Friday night at the annual Homecoming Step Show. This one's sponsored by UA's National Panhellenic Council. That is a big tradition. It spans 30 years here at the Capstone. 8 NPHC fraternities and sororities battled it out on stage. Really intricate dance steps. This is all choreographed, and this is something like maybe you guys would have done back when you were a Busy Bee in the Busy Bee
That's
band,
right.
maybe?
How'd you know about that, Lynn? You really are getting to know me, aren't you, Lynn? I have no secrets left.
Well, maybe if they did Michael Jackson, maybe you and the coach could have.
I don't know if you
stepped out
watched
there.
did you see our team on the sideline? There was some music last week that
Yes.
they really got into, and there's some great pictures where all of their feet are off of the field.
And they're
all
just
up in the
jumping.
air. Yeah.
They're just jumping. I bet you'd love to
was
see
fun.
that.
I do love to see. I think they were allowed to choose some of the music this week, or last week, that is. Yeah.
So how does
So
that
they
work?
liked it. Well, they are
Get-
asked
get
ahead
some-
of time to what songs they want to hear, and they were able to incorporate that into game day.
Hey, and why
I
not?
like that. And Nick might choose the Eagles, but that's not what they chose.
What I always love is when he comes out, when he's walking out of the tunnel,
Yes.
and that powerful music that's playing.
Great music.
I'm like,
yeah.
he's ready.
Yeah.
Well, lots of homecoming traditions. We'll show you another one of them now, one that happened on Thursday night. Here's a hint. If you can dodge a wrench, you can dodge a ball. Remember that? Students literally hit the ground running Thursday night at the Student Rec Center here on the UA campus. Different groups came out to show that they were in the best competitive spirit. And did you ever play dodgeball, Miss Terry?
I love dodgeball. I think that was about 7th and 8th grade when you'd be in a circle, and when they hit you, you had to go
Yes.
sit down, and always want to be the last one out there.
And it just always seemed like the end of the world to me when I was little and I would get hit
Yeah.
by the ball.
Yeah.
It's like, what, I'm
and
out?
oftentimes it hurt, and you were like, ouch, 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 but you don't cry.
No, especially not where up there where you're from, right? That's you gotta show
You
you're
better be
tough.
tough.
That's right. We also want to talk today about the homecoming court. You know, that's all part of the tradition here at the Capstone. More than 8,000 votes were cast for the University of Alabama's 2014 homecoming queen elections. 5 women have been elected to the court. They're Kevin Armstrong Wright, sponsored by the Honors College Assembly, and she's a senior English major, actually from Auburn. Allison Montgomery was sponsored by Tri Delta Sorority, and she's a senior biology major from Talladega. Then there's Carolyn Perry, who's sponsored by the Panhellenic Council. She's a senior finance major from Vestavia Hills. And Catherine Porter, sponsored by Kappa Alpha Theta Sorority. She's a senior accounting economics major from Orlando. Also, Emily Zaber, sponsored by the Student Athlete Advisory Committee. She's a graduate student in marketing, and she's from Marietta, Georgia. And the winner is Miss Allison Montgomery from Talladega, and will be crowned today at halftime during the big game today. So that's really exciting. So
it's always fun to see the beautiful young ladies in the parade and to see the little children along the sideline looking up with big eyes thinking, someday maybe I can wear a crown like that.
Yes. Well, I want to tell you this, Miss Terry. Some local ladies got to wear crowns. I always say every girl should have a tiara.
Yes.
A local nursing home called Heritage Healthcare and Rehab, they elected their own homecoming queens from each section of the facility. They all got to vote on whoever they wanted to represent them as homecoming queen. I was out there yesterday crowning them. These are the queens out there all sitting there in a row while Big Al is dancing, and he really got them riled up.
Wonderful.
They were really dancing and having a great time. This is your queens: Lavoy Smith, Louise Kuhn, Polly Kiles, and Willie Williams.
Oh.
They all got a big shiny tiara. Also, they got some beautiful fresh flowers. Everybody got decked out in their crimson and white, just cheering on their new homecoming queens. And, of course, Big Al always makes it fun.
Well, I hope you're watching, and congratulations. And that's wonderful that you were there, Lynn.
I really enjoyed it, and I know all the folks over there in Heritage are watching us today because they told me, Miss Terry, I told them yesterday, I said, now you queens are going to be on the homecoming parade broadcast with Miss Terry, so make sure you're watching. So if you're watching us from Heritage, hello to everybody over there. We had so much fun in Roll Tide. Well, we've got a homecoming tradition here at WVUA. It's called the Ask Terry Saban segment. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
You ready for this, Miss Terry? Okay. Danny Salter is live along University Boulevard with a preview of that segment coming up. Danny?
Hey guys, thanks a bunch. We are having so much fun out here. Look at this. It's really starting to fill in. Everybody's showing up, and they're in a huge line. All these people are here for one reason, and that's to get to ask Miss Terry Saban a question. So I hope she's ready. It looks like we're going to have about 4,000 of them. No, I'm just kidding. Actually, we've got 4 ladies standing by, so we're going to get our questions together. We're going to come up with some really good stuff, and hopefully we're going to learn all about the First Lady of Alabama football. Guys, back to you.
Thanks a lot, Danny. We've gotten a lot of questions traditionally. People want to know about your pets. They want to know about your recipes. They're pretty curious.
Typically, they want to know what Nick likes, what he likes to eat, and what our traditions are for the week, and so on. And I don't hold anything back.
Wow.
I have no secrets.
Wow, no secrets. You heard it here. Well, when we come back, we're going to ask Miss Terry anything. Find out what these football fans want to know from Miss Terry Saban. Also, you can add a question on our social networking sites, so check us out on Twitter if you have a question for Miss Terry. Back in a moment with more live coverage of Homecoming 2014 from the Capstone right after this. You're watching WVUA, Alabama's home team.
You're watching the University of Alabama Homecoming Parade right here on WVUA.
Welcome back into this WVUA News Special. If you are just joining us at home, we are waiting on the Capstone's 2014 Homecoming Parade to begin, and a big part of Homecoming Spirit Week, those lawn decorations. All the sororities spend hours out there decorating. Look at that. Just beautiful. Always amazes me that they can make this stuff with chicken wire and tissue.
You remember our favorite word, Lynn?
What is it?
Pomping.
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 That's putting the tissue paper in the chicken wire one at a time until you create colorful areas that end up being something beautiful.
And it's something your daughter had to do when she was back here at the university, right? Did she love that?
Right.
Did she enjoy
and
that?
I had to do it. Of course she loved it.
You did some pumping too?
I pumped myself.
You got pumped up.
Came from a long line of pumpers, yes.
Well, it's sure not easy, as Terry can tell you, making all those decorations. The sororities spend days getting them ready. And our assistant sports director, BJ Milliken, got an up-close and personal view of the ladies making those decorations. And here's his story.
Homecoming week at Alabama, meaning that we get to go down sorority row and check out all the beautiful lawn decorations that the girls are doing. So let's go. We're here at Pi Beta Phi House with Amanda Booth. Amanda, the chapter president. Amanda, we're standing in front of a very beautiful piece of art here. Tell me a little bit about it.
Well, for homecoming week, one of the competitions that we do is the lawn decoration. So every year there is a standing theme. This year it is tied together. So this is what our homecoming chairs have come up with. Obviously we have the legend, Bear Bryant, as well as St. Nick standing in front. So this is kind of what we wanted to portray as tied together.
Okay, so let me come up close to it. I don't want to be one of these guys who just like knocks it over, but like can we softly touch it? Okay, so what? This is just paper, just rolled up paper.
It's actually just tissue paper rolled up. You know, it takes a lot of planning and effort to kind of see what kind of colors we're going to need. You know, there's so much planning. It's gray over white and, you know, red over black and all these kind of different shading techniques. So once you really get into the details and into the nitty gritty, that's what takes so much time, is figuring out like what colors you need.
You're going to win though, right?
I mean, I say so, but you know, we'll just see what the panel says. But I think so.
She's confident, everybody. All right, we've seen a lot of cool lawn decorations, but let's check this one out. This one's got a little bit of a unique feel to it. We've got a roller coaster, goes all the way around through Denny Chimes. We come over here, we've got Big Al, who looks like he's having the time of his life. But Blake Sims looks a little scared, I gotta be honest. I might be scared too. But the thing that makes this one really cool is it's unique, it's got sound effects. All right, we've seen fun, we've had the roller coaster, we've seen happy, we had Bear Bryant, Nick Saban. Well, this one gets the award for the most terrifying. This one might haunt your dreams a little bit. We've got the Stephen King clown from It. Maybe not so scary of a balloon, though, with the Auburn logo on. Oversized shirts, what's up with that?
I am a big fan of the oversized shirts. It is comfy, you feel relaxed. I am a big fan of the oversized shirt, if I do say so myself.
If I wanted to say set something on fire, where would you recommend that I go tonight?
Well, first of all, I'd probably say don't try that at home. But if you wanted to set something on fire, I would definitely go to the quad tonight and check out the bonfire.
Bonfire. I say we're there. All right, we're here. We did a little pep rally. Now we're here at the bonfire. Why do you think we set stuff on fire to get fired up? Maybe I just answered my own question.
I think you did just answer your own question.
All right, here with Bob Pugh. Bob, you're kind of the ringleader of this whole thing out here tonight. How are we going to set this thing ablaze?
With a little LP gas and some hardcore firemen.
Can I light it?
No.
Please. All right, so that is UA Homecoming. We'll call that the pre-show, but for now, since it is a little chilly out here, I'm going to warm up by this fire.
Great story by BJ Milliken. So neat to see all those decorations. Want to mention the winners of this year's lawn decorations: Alpha Delta Pi, and in second place Zeta Tau Alpha, and in third Kappa Kappa Gamma. All did a great job. So congratulations to those winners. And we're waiting for the homecoming parade to roll through here on University Boulevard. But we can't talk about a game day without talking about the season. Terry, we've got to take a look back at the Alabama football season to this point. Jen Chapman will take us there.
Terry, and yes, you're right. You can't talk about homecoming without the football team. And it has been quite an emotional roller coaster for fans this year, but with a lot of ups. Let's take a look back on the season so far. Nick Saban and the Crimson Tide kicked off the 2014 season in Atlanta, taking on West Virginia University. The Tide rolled to a 10-point win over the Mountaineers with over 500 total yards on offense. Then it was back to Tuscaloosa to get the home crowd ready for the year to come. Amari Cooper showing why he's a front runner for the Heisman with 189 yards receiving on the day. Junior running back Kenyon Drake also off to a hot start as he adds in a pair of touchdowns. The Tide dominating Florida Atlantic University in a shutout win, 41-0. Second game of the three-game home stretch wouldn't disappoint. 5 different Bama players finding the end zone, Kenyon Drake finding it 3 times en route to a 52-14 win over Southern Mississippi. Time to open up SEC play, and what better way than a bomb pass from Blake Sims to Kenyon Drake, 87 yards to get Bama out to the early lead on Florida. And the crowd wanting more of that. How about a 79-yard touchdown pass from Sims to Amari Cooper? Coop with 3 touchdowns as Alabama tops Florida 42-21. Following a bye week, the then-ranked #1 Tide took to the road to play #11 Ole Miss. Alabama would build a 14-3 lead, but would later watch it deteriorate in front of a sold-out crowd in Oxford.
Field 30, he gets turned around, fumbles the ball, loose again. I believe Ole Miss will cover it.
Bo Wallace leading the Rebels to victory. Alabama sent home looking for answers.
Over the Alabama DBs.
It wouldn't take long for the Tide to get their swagger back. Next week on the road in Fayetteville. TJ Yeldon outstretches his arms to get the Tide on the board first.
Touchdown Alabama! Touchdown Alabama!
And then second quarter, the Tide special teams blocking an Arkansas extra point. The Tide down 6 in the fourth quarter. Sims to DeAndrew White seals a 14-13 win.
Touchdown Alabama!
Then the floodgates at Bryant-Denny Stadium would open. The Tide raining touchdowns over Texas A&M. Quarterback Blake Sims throwing for 3 touchdowns and running for 1. 602 total yards on offense as Alabama trounces the Aggies 59-0. Time for Lane Kiffin's return to Knoxville. The Tide's offensive coordinator wastes no time as he dials up a touchdown on the first offensive play for Alabama. Sims to Cooper for an 80-yard score. And the scoring wouldn't end there. The Tide put up 27 unanswered points in the first 20 minutes of the game, winning a final of 34-20. Now the return of Nick Saban to Death Valley, a nail-biter. Adam Griffith's 27-yard field goal sends this one to overtime. Blake Sims hits DeAndrew White on a 6-yard pass to give the Tide a 7-point advantage, leaving this one up to LSU's final drive.
He loads up, he floats one towards the end zone, pushing and shoving, knocked away by Alabama. The Crimson Tide wins! The Crimson Tide wins!
Back to Tuscaloosa to welcome in #1 ranked Mississippi State. Alabama's defense setting the tone early. A safety to start the game, and then shutting down potential Heisman candidate Dak Prescott. 3 interceptions for the Tide defense. Alabama's offense taking care of business. Cooper, Derrick Henry, and TJ Yeldon finding the end zone as Bama silences the Cowbells 25-20. The Tide heads down the home stretch in control of their own destiny. Now, of course, today the Tide have Western Carolina, and then next week, the game that divides some families in the state of Alabama, the Iron Bowl. That game is set for kickoff 6:45 on ESPN. Reporting from WVUA, Jen Chapman will be right back after this.
Welcome back to the University of Alabama, where Terry Saban is joining me today to wait for the University of Alabama's 2014 homecoming parade. It is almost here. It's inching closer, and we're really excited to be bringing you live coverage into your living room today from Alabama's home team. A great homecoming here at the University of Alabama. And earlier, Miss Terry, we were looking back at the University of Alabama's football season up to this point, a really exciting season.
I loved watching the clips, and I remember the first game playing West Virginia University. You know, that's our home. Nick and I
Yes.
are both from West Virginia. We had over 230 requests for tickets from our West Virginia cousins. We're all related. But they
How many?
Over 230.
So this will be the Saban section.
It was like a wedding reception while we were
I
there. So
bet.
that was a fun game. And I have to say that last week the stands were rocking for the Mississippi State game, and I hope we see something similar for the last two games. But I was really so appreciative of our fans for showing up and cheering hard, and it really does help the team.
And you can tell they've been pumped up. They're jumping up and down and dancing and having a great time.
We have great fans.
Well,
we don't need cowbells.
You know, I'm glad to hear you say that because I'm not a really big fan of those bells either. Well, something we are a big fan of, though, is Nick's Kids. We love Nick's Kids and the work that Nick's Kids does. It's something you've poured your heart into, Terry.
Well, you know, his father started it by helping children, picking up all the little children in the coal mining towns and taking them to Pop Warner practice. And you've heard the story that it says right on his gravestone that no man stands as tall as he who stoops to help a child, and we've tried to carry on that legacy. And since we've been here at the University of Alabama, because we have really great supporters and great donors, we have been able to give back to the community close to $5 million now.
Wow.
You know, we built the 15 houses with, in conjunction with Habitat for Humanity.
Yes.
And right now we have a great project going on where we're building the playground at Alberta City School. So we just have a lot of good things going on. Teacher Appreciation Luncheon, that's coming up, and it's just a lot of fun.
And our own Jennifer Edwards actually put together a story all about Nick's Kids. Here's her story.
Nick's Kids is about my father. It's not about me. You know, he started Pop Warner football in our area in West Virginia and went and picked kids up in the school bus. And my mother, since my dad passed away many years ago, has always sort of wanted me to use our position to try to continue that legacy.
A legacy that has raised more than $4 million for local charities since Nick's Kids was founded in 2007. 15 homes have been constructed in partnership with Habitat for Humanity, representing the Crimson Tide's 15 national championship wins. Nicholas Giles and Shalaire Powell received the keys to the 15th home built through donations from Nick's Kids November 22nd of 2013.
It's just a blessing. It just feels great, you know, knowing we can raise them in a nice community, a nice home.
If something happens, they'll be safe.
Giving back. It's something Saban says is important to him and his family.
We're fortunate to be in the position that we're in to be able to contribute and give back to the community.
And on what the coach calls his favorite day of the year, the Nick's Kids Luncheon this July, he told WVUA supporting the community is part of being a leader.
I think it's a part of leadership to try to affect other people, to help them, to care about them and to serve them. And you know, that's something that we try to teach our players. And I think this is a really good example of how we all can contribute to that in a positive way. And this is my favorite day, my favorite luncheon, to be here with these kids and all the people who support Nick's Kids.
Great organization, and if you would like to donate, you can donate to Nick's Kids. All those donations, Terry, go pretty much directly to helping local individuals.
We have no paid employees. We have a lot of volunteers, so the dollars that come in go directly to help people. And besides this, Lynn, Nick and I have committed $1 million to the First Generation Scholarship Fund. So that goes to people who are the first in their family to ever go to college, and Nick and I are also first-generation children.
And you guys do a tremendous job paying that forward. We're looking at information right there on your screen, how you can donate. So please donate to Nick's Kids and make a big difference. Now time for one of our very favorite parts of the show. It's Ask Terry. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Okay.
I'm scared, but I'm ready.
WVUA's Danny Salter is standing by with an Alabama fan who has a question. Danny?
Absolutely. Real questions from real Alabama football fans. None of these have been screened. None of these have ran through media relations. I hope they're good and juicy. Hello, ma'am. Who are you and where are you from?
I'm Cheryl Milner from Chelsea, Alabama.
From Chelsea. And you've got a question for Miss Terry, right?
Right.
Go ahead and ask.
Okay. I'm a Nick chick, Miss Terry, and I'm just curious how it feels living with the greatest coach on the universe.
Oh.
That's a good question.
Oh, Cheryl.
Okay, good
thank
question,
you.
Cheryl.
Well, Nick and I have been married 42 years, and we met in 7th grade. And so when you ask how it feels to be married to Nick, it actually is, he's my best friend. And we've been friends for a long time, and we're still friends. So I feel very blessed to have a wonderful life. He's not home a lot, and maybe that's a good thing.
Absence makes the heart grow fonder, I think someone said, right?
It's very healthy for our relationship. But thank you for your question. It's a wonderful thing, and as I said, he's my best friend.
You guys have had a pretty adventurous life, Terry. I mean, just to think about it from a marriage perspective, it's not really easy just to move around from city to city for anybody. Yeah.
There's no doubt that our life has centered around football. People say, have you gone to England? Have you seen Paris? If we don't play a football game there, Lynn, I'm probably not going to go there. But it's been a great life, and I love it, and I have no regrets, and I hope it continues.
On that note, we're going to take a short break. When we come back, more live coverage from the University of Alabama. You stay with us.
You're watching the University of Alabama Homecoming Parade right here on WVUA.
Welcome back to WVUA and our 2014 Homecoming Parade coverage. First Lady of Alabama football, Terry Saban, Lynn Brooks, in store for a great homecoming today. And we're waiting for the parade to get here. It's inching closer. And as we do that, we've gotten to know Miss Saban and her family a little bit better. There's a parade coming closer as we speak. Look at that. It's almost here. But we have a few more seconds we can chat. And Terry, one of the things I'm interested in, when you and Nick were dating,
yes,
Nick was working at his dad's gas station, so he's sort of always been around cars, right? Does
he has always loved cars, and I recall going to get my gas there. You know, every time my my fuel would go low, I'd like go see Nick. And
you were trying to run out of gas,
right? That's right. I was trying to run out of gas, but he's always loved cars, and we actually wanted to own a car dealership before he ever became a coach. And I don't know if you know, but that dream came true recently.
Exciting.
We made an investment in the state of Alabama by purchasing a Mercedes car dealership in Birmingham. So we're now partners, and we're excited about it. Our son works there, and he loves it. So if you're interested in a car, come see us. Mercedes-Benz of Birmingham.
The Saban family will certainly be glad to help you. And so I guess that's pretty good, too, to have your son closer, closer to where you are.
It is, and we get to see them more often, and it's nice to see him grow and develop and mature and love what he does. He works 6 days a week. He's there working. And they're actually doing a Nick's Kids event where if people come in and drive a test car, for everyone who comes in, they donate to Nick's Kids. So it's been a good working relationship.
That's a win-win. And speaking of the Saban family, I cannot let you leave today without us taking a look at the grandbaby. Are you loving the new grandbaby?
Oh, absolutely.
Looky
you have
here.
A picture. Oh, yeah.
Here we go. Tell us about these lovely ladies in this photo.
That was actually at one of our Nick's Kids events, and they came, and that's little Amelie. And, you know, Nick complains that he doesn't get to see her enough. She'll be 1 year old now in December.
Oh.
And she calls me Tata.
Tata?
Yes.
That's an interesting grandparent name. Where does that come from?
Well, from Terry. All the nieces call me TT. So it evolved with her to Tata.
Oh, just gorgeous.
Now,
what's her personality like?
She's smart and talented and personable and beautiful, and what else can I say?
Oh, my gosh.
Just perfect.
Now, and we also saw Nick holding the baby, too. I think I saw something from him somewhere that he says, I don't know what this child would do if there's not a standing ovation every time she does something.
Well, we do. It's kind of like watching the grass grow. It's fun just to sit and watch Amelie. Well, you all know what that's like.
Oh, my goodness. And exciting
Fun.
times in the Saban household for sure.
And they're there right now, and they're spending the night. So at least after the game, because it's an early game, Nick will get to come home and spend time with her.
Oh, that'll be awesome. And then pretty soon Thanksgiving before you know it as well. So you'll have a lot of family from here on out. Well, we have the beginnings of the parade. Can you see this right behind us?
I do see it coming.
So now it is here. The parade is approaching our stage here on University Boulevard. If you're familiar with the campus, let me give you an idea of where we are right now. We're directly on University Boulevard. We're at Reese Pfeiffer Hall, the north side of Reese Pfeiffer Hall, right across from the Education College as well. So this is pretty much the heart of the capstone.
Lynn, you should tell us about your new office. I took a tour right before this. It is absolutely beautiful. And you know, our players also get to enjoy going in there and learning about the media and getting interviewed and being live. It's beautiful.
Well, WVUA has the largest and most successful intern program in America. So it's something we're really proud of, and located now inside Bryant-Denny Stadium. And now we're looking at the Army ROTC and Air Force ROTC, our very first entrance.
American flag, a great way to kick off the parade.
The Army ROTC here at the University of Alabama is an elective, and they focus on leadership, also management skills. It's an advanced course and prepares students for commissioning officers as officers in the U.S. Army.
We're so grateful for all of our armed forces. You probably heard that Marcus Luttrell came and spoke to our team, and it was quite exciting and pumped up our players. We appreciate all they do.
We sure do. And here's our Grand Marshal, Marty Lyons. He's our 2014 Grand Marshal and played for the 1978 National Champion University of Alabama football team under legendary coach Paul Bear Bryant. Marty Lyons, today's Grand Marshal.
And he is riding in a beautiful crimson Corvette.
Speaking of nice cars, yes?
Very nice.
And of course, everybody's favorite, Big Al and the cheerleaders. The origin of the mascot dates back to 1930, and the costume Big Al mascot officially debuted at the 1979 Sugar Bowl. And if you want to know how did Big Al get his name, how do you think Big Al got his name?
How did he get his name, Lynn?
Funny you should ask, Terry, because I have that answer. The student body back in 1979 actually voted for Big Al.
1979?
Yes.
That wasn't so long ago.
At the 1979 Sugar Bowl is the very first time that Big Al came onto the scene.
We love our cheerleaders. They do a great job. They work hard. They work very hard, long hours.
And now the University of Alabama $1 Million Band under the direction of Dr. Kenneth Ozello.
Playing my favorite song. You know, when we're producing game day in our stadium, the one thing I've requested, so why don't we get more pictures on the screens of our beautiful girls, of our majorettes and cheerleaders, and so we're trying to pump that up. Also,
they are beautiful.
Lynn, you should know, we're miking our band now. I don't know if you could tell a difference.
I noticed that at the Mississippi State game.
Oh, that's right. Well, it was because at the Tennessee game, we noticed their big microphones there, and when we came home, we said, why can't we do that? And we're going to add more microphones this week.
Really?
Yes.
That's a great idea. I think you probably had a hand in that, Miss Terry.
Well, I mean, it's within the rules. Why not do it as long as we're allowed to do it?
That's right. And you love this. You love this band.
Love the band.
Just such a tradition. They actually began as a military band in 1914. Here we go.
You know, Lynn, the band is part of the athletic department. Did you know that?
Really?
So when they get new uniforms or their travel expenses, all of that comes from the athletic department.
I did not realize that.
They are a part of our program.
So they're really considered part of the team.
That's right.
Here's an interesting note. The name Million Dollar Band was bestowed upon the band in 1922 by W.C. Pickens, who was an Alabama alum and football manager in 1896.
Ways back.
He gave them the name the Million Dollar Band.
You could get a lot for $1 million back then.
Right. They certainly sound like $1 million, that's
Yes,
for
they
sure.
do.
Coming up, the Crimson Cabaret. These are the gorgeous ladies you see at halftime and doing those sideline routines at Crimson Tide basketball games. They go to all the SEC basketball tournament and NCAA tournaments as well. They perform at a lot of other UA events, including those homecoming activities. You saw some video of them earlier. The parade, of course, you see here. Quad performances. They're also there at the football game. So maybe one of these lovely ladies that we can see on the Jumbotron, Miss Terry. Just gorgeous.
That would be my choice. It's very good for recruiting, you know.
I would imagine so. And when the recruits come and they go to a game and just they get to be on the sidelines, right?
That's right. They do for a while, pregame, and then they have seats in the stands.
Oh.
Here comes some twirlers, Lynn. You know, I used to twirl.
The Crimson Cuties. You were a twirler.
I was a twirler.
Now you had the band there. What high school was it?
It was East Fairmont in
East Fairmont.
Fairmont, West Virginia. Yes.
And you were in the Busy Bee Band. So you were the Busy Bees? Was that the mascot, the Busy Bees?
We were the Busy Bees, and I was the Queen Bee.
And you are still the Queen Bee to this day, I would say that.
It was a lot of fun. My sisters were also in the band and had one sister who was a cheerleader. I'm one of 4 girls, so it was a lot of fun being together with them.
Where are you in the birth order?
I was the oldest.
The oldest. So you definitely were the Queen Bee on the football field and in the family as well, I'm sure.
Still very close to my sisters. We talk every day, and we're very close.
Miss University of Alabama, Danielle Dubose, graduate of Spain Park High School in Hoover. And she was named 2014 Miss University of Alabama in February. A senior, double majoring in accounting and political science.
Ooh, I give her a lot of credit. I'm not very good at balancing my checkbook, Lynn.
And you just saw a shot of homecoming queen Allison Montgomery rolling through, followed by the court. Gorgeous homecoming court. And earlier today we were talking about Mercedes. That was a nice Mercedes for
It's a pretty one.
member of the homecoming court.
You know, do you recall the tradition of wearing mums?
Yes.
But I don't see that any longer.
That's true. Used to wear those big flowers. I know at homecoming at my high school, the flowers was bigger than my head
Bring a
most
big
of the
mum.
time.
Neat cars. Such a perfect day. All of the convertibles and beautiful girls riding in the convertibles, and they're greeted by gorgeous sunshine and leaves falling down. Just a perfect fall day for homecoming.
You could really film a movie here today. It really is very picturesque fall football festivities. And here comes the Civil Air Patrol, Squadron 24, an auxiliary part of the U.S. Air Force. They have cadets from ages 12 up to 18, and what they focus on is search and rescue missions, also aerospace education. And the group has also worked with the Gulf oil spill, the April 27, 2011 tornado. They were also instrumental in helping out after Hurricane Katrina. And Miss Alabama's outstanding teen, Morgan Green.
Beautiful young lady.
Gorgeous. Giving us a big roll tide. And that's our outstanding teen, giving us a Go Bama and a roll tide with her shiny tiara. She's a Hillcrest High School senior and Tuscaloosa resident. She was named.
Like she could be a cheerleader as well.
Yes, she's gorgeous too. She went on to represent the state at the Miss America's Teen Pageant in Orlando in August. She was second runner-up down there. So congratulations to Miss Morgan Green.
You know, and it's not all about beauty. They do a lot of talent, and oftentimes the winners get nice scholarships. So it's worth participating in for the scholarships.
Really builds our confidence as well. If you're just joining us, you're watching live coverage of the University of Alabama's homecoming parade here on WVUA, Alabama's home team. And we are glad that you're along with us today.
We'll be rushing home right after this and regrouping, gathering up the family, and heading back to Bryant-Denny Stadium for homecoming game.
It'll be a long day for the Sabans.
He'll block the field goal.
The Stilt Walker saying what?
He said he wants to play today and block a field goal.
The field goal.
Oh, I think he could.
Here comes your Bama water ski team. I think they're ready to hit the lake, hit the river.
Well, you know, Nick and I can water ski. He slaloms, and I can barely hold on with 2 skis. But it's a great sport. Oh, look at the Mastercraft.
Oh, wow. Roll Tide.
You know, we have a boat on Lake Tuscaloosa.
Really?
We take all the freshmen when they come and take them tubing.
Well, you know, Terry, I don't live very far from there, so the next time you're headed out to the lake, you just come on by.
We'd love to have you.
The Alabama gymnastics team. Amazing group of ladies.
What a proud heritage they have.
Yes. We saw the retirement this year of longtime head coach Sarah Patterson, and now following in her footsteps, Dana Dobransky, who has been with that program for a long time as well.
Sarah is still here. She has an office in the stadium and still helping our athletic department. We're so proud of her.
This looks like maybe a scene from maybe up the area where you're from, Miss Terry.
Might watch it. We might be related.
We've got the Zamora Shrine Temple, the West Alabama Shrine Club.
What is it about men wanting to rev up the engine?
They always like to rev it up. I guess if they can get loud, they figure why not?
That's right. Get our attention.
It sure does. And we've got the Bryant High School Marching Band. The Stampede from right here in Tuscaloosa. Alpha Gamma Delta, they are in high spirits this morning. I see they're wearing their tutus today. Followed by the Southern Strutters Twirl team. They have been state team champions 23 times since 1974. They've had state, national, and world individual winters. They have classes out at Gordo Elementary School out in Pickens County and also at the Phelps Center, and that's through the Parks and Recreation Authority, Tuscaloosa County. You can start at age 4, Miss Terry.
That's
so
right.
Maybe when the grandbaby hits about 4.
That's right, and they go all the way through college. You know, Lynn, just being part of a team, it doesn't matter what you do, being part of a group and having discipline and learning to practice, having goals, setting goals, that's what these young people are doing.
And it's great to see them to come out, and it means so much for them to have their family and friends come out and support them. And for every one of these kids that you see in the parade,
that's right,
there's a family behind them that's making that happen. Let's hear it from Delta Gamma.
I guarantee you these girls were up late, comping, partying.
You think, Terry? Surely not.
They might have to take a little nap before game time.
Oh, yes. They're going to have to rest up, that's for sure. But we have a lot of organizations represented here on the University of Alabama campus today. And with the growth of the university, that's where a lot of it has come from. Alpha Omicron Pi. They were formed here at the University of Alabama back in 1967. Their unofficial mascot is the panda. They also do some philanthropy. They help out arthritis research. Now look at these ladies, Miss Terry. These are the Helena Bells.
The traditional Southern gown.
They
Just
are
beautiful.
They're freshmen, sophomores, juniors, or seniors in high school. They're all residents of Helena. And they apply to become a Helena Bell for their high school years. And they have to be of good character. They have to have a pleasant personality. They have to have good grades.
And it's also about service in the community.
Yes, they really stress community service. We have the Special Olympics College in front of our stage. Now these are all students both with and without intellectual disabilities from University of Alabama or from around the Tuscaloosa community, followed by Kappa Kappa Gamma. A lot of our sororities on foot today, Miss Terry. Here's our Bib Bells, more Southern beauties. They are the official hostesses of Bibb County. They are ambassadors and promote good citizenship. So if you see a business grand opening there in Bibb County, pretty likely you'll see one of the Bib Bells there as well.
It's a great way to start learning about giving of yourself, giving back to the community. 2 more tiaras.
That's our International Junior Miss. That's a scholarship program that encourages confidence, achievement, and academics. And then there's Gamma Phi Beta cheering their way through the campus this morning.
A lot of people are wearing the fuel bands now, and they count how many steps you walk in a day. I'll bet in this parade there are at least over 10,000 steps.
A lot of steps. And you do that as well?
I do, but I
count your
don't check
steps?
mine very often.
It's more a piece of jewelry.
It is.
Alpha Phi coming in front of our cameras. Their motto is Union Hand in Hand. And they do a lot of philanthropy. They try to raise awareness about heart disease. Alpha Phi. And behind them, the Bama Cheer Extreme.
Bama Cheer Extreme, they have the Pee-wees, the youth, junior, and senior teams participating. They also travel and compete.
They're so cute.
These are future Bama cheerleaders.
And it's really funny, Terry, people at home may not be able to see this, but you and I can see this. As we have the girls cheerleading through the street, there are a lot of little cheerleaders along the sideline, so to speak, here along the parade route.
They're participating.
Yes, they are. Clear channel rolling in front of our cameras right now. I'm sorry, that's Town Square Media, Tuscaloosa. Town Square Media. B101.1, also our good friends at 95.3 The Bear, Bama's Best Country, and Madison and Shepherd in the morning. Followed by KD, Kappa Delta loves the Tide. They were the very first sorority to have a chapter here in the state of Alabama, and now the oldest continuous Kappa Delta chapter. The very first national Greek letter sorority at the University of Alabama. And I think they love the cameras.
I think they're ready to play.
I should mention, too, for those at home who can't see, we do have our own James Rossi who's operating the street level camera. And, you know, he's roughly about the same age as these ladies, and not bad to look at either.
I think he's enjoying it, too.
This is a pretty good assignment for old James today down on the street level camera. And if you're just joining us, you are watching the homecoming parade at the University of Alabama here on WVUA TV, Alabama's home team. Lynn Brooks alongside Terry Saban, First Lady of Alabama football. It appears to be a bit of a gap in the parade there, but we've got our cameras watching as this parade rolls
Can we
through.
call this halftime? Because here they come.
Yeah, is this the part where we get to stand up and stretch here for a second?
Take a little break. A little Gatorade.
That's right. Bring on the water boy. We're ready. Well, we're getting close to Thanksgiving as well, Miss Terry. I know that this is the closest homecoming I can remember to Thanksgiving, because we're only just a few days out from that. Have you already gotten your turkey?
I have a smoked turkey coming. I have a honey baked ham coming.
Ooh.
And I've also called the caterers.
You know, I may try that this year.
I do. I make a couple of dishes that the
Do you?
players like. I do a little special cream corn, and I have a cranberry jello salad that I make, but everything else is filled in. I get some help. Listen,
You're smart.
Getting my tables
Smart.
ready. I have to move all the furniture back and set 2 big banquet tables right down the center of our living room so that everyone has a place to sit down. So that's my part.
You get everything fixed up.
Yes.
I may try to go a little bit of the catering route. I have a lot of the people from the television station, because people, you know, just like you don't really get a break during football season. Our team, a lot of the folks you see here behind the scenes, they don't really get that much of a break too. So
Well, you know, the coaches
chow down.
actually, they have to work that whole day. The players will practice. Nick will put in a full day, and then about 5 or 5:30 in the evening, it'll be getting dark, and that's when they can come home for dinner.
So you do more of an evening meal.
We have
for
no
Thanksgiving.
choice. That's right. If we want Dada there, we have to have dinner in the evening.
Dada. Is that what the grandbaby calls Coach Nick?
That's what I call him.
Good old Dada.
When you get old and he calls me Mom and I call him Dada.
Sure. As long as you guys been together. That's very sweet, though. Well, the parade is now caught back up to our cameras, and look at these dancers go. They are shaking it down University Boulevard. Here we go.
Ooh, I like that music. Nick would probably want me to dance if he were here.
Here we go.
Good beat.
These are the dancing stars. These little ones, I mean, to make it all the way from downtown Tuscaloosa, all the way through the university campus.
It's a long day for them. Just think about how early they got up and their moms did their hair and put their little lipstick on and got them ready, drove here to get ready. We appreciate it.
They are putting on a show, too.
Good exercise too, Lynn.
Right?
Better to be doing something like this than sitting in front of the TV or video games all day.
Right. What happened to people going out and dancing? That used to be a thing.
I know. What did happen to that?
I missed that.
Kind of like mums, wearing a mum. We need to bring that back, Lynn.
We had the Collegiate 100 Black Men of America rolling in front of our cameras now, and the purpose of the University of Alabama's Collegiate 100 is to implement the mentoring and tutoring programs of the 100 Black Men of America Incorporated, sponsored by the West Alabama 100 Black Men chapter.
This is also something that Nick's Kids supports, their tutoring program.
So when you give to Nick's Kids, you're also helping to support this very important mentoring program. Alpha Delta Chi coming through right now. There's a Christian sorority on the University of Alabama campus. Their goal is to strengthen the spiritual lives of members and promote high scholastic standards, also provide some social fellowship. Their philanthropy is the Boys and Girls Club of America. And look at these two cuties. Are they sweet or what? Look at that.
They have the wave down too.
Aww. Sweet smiles. I think that tiara is about as big as she is.
Beautiful antique cars coming.
There's always the funnest vehicles around campus, Terry, on a game day. And certainly for homecoming, they come out in full force.
It's actually hard on a car. I don't know if you know that, but when you go this slow, oftentimes they overheat.
Stop and go.
It's hard on the marchers, but it's hard on the cars too.
Our newly elected Secretary of State, Mr. John Merrill, coming in front of our television cameras right now. And John Merrill, for those of you watching at home who are in the Tuscaloosa area, you may remember John from many, many years of work in the Tuscaloosa County school system, and now has just been elected as your Secretary of State.
He's done a lot of good things, and you see him out in the community a lot.
You really do. And John Merrill, if you ever see John Merrill, you're going to get one of those full body handshakes.
That's right, like ouch.
It's a shake and a hug at the same time.
Beautiful young lady.
Oh, Alabama's Southern Miss. And I think, Terry, at this point, this is just about as good of a live crowd as I have seen for a homecoming parade.
It has to be at least a dozen people deep, as far as I can see, down University.
All the way down on both sides. Great crowd today. I think this beautiful weather has brought them out. Alabama's Southern Miss. I want to mention that the Southern Miss is a scholarship program. It's Alabama's Southern Miss, not to be confused with the school Southern Miss. And they were all crowned in May 2014 in Greenville, Alabama. And here's a fun group coming up. This is Alpha Chi Omega. I think they're ready for the luau.
There are more than 300 members in that group.
They have a really neat event that they have, Miss Terry. Every year they have Walk a Mile in Her Shoes. It's to bring awareness to domestic violence, but they have fraternity members put on high heels and race.
Oh, I love it.
The fraternity guys. And
it's a very timely topic
so
right
funny.
now as well.
Singing the Alabama fight song.
A lot of pumping on that one, Lynn.
Oh, yes. That would be one group, I'm sure they're glad it's a little bit warmer today. Followed by Team Spirit. This is a fiberglass life-size elephant. This thing weighs 1,500 pounds.
Well, Lynn, if you're going to do that, why not get the real thing? Maybe next year.
We need to. You know, we talk about it every year. Somebody watching at home, if you have access to bring an elephant onto campus, Miss Terry would really like that.
Yes. But what a beautiful venue. We needed to have one of our sparkly twirlers sitting on top
of the elephant. Theta Tau, a professional co-ed engineering fraternity. Chartered at the University of Alabama back in 1922. They have more than 1,500 members.
Notice they're advertising the process.
The process, that's right.
One of Nick's favorite words.
It's all about the process. Kappa Alpha Theta. Nationally, the first Greek society for women. And we have Spectrum. They're a registered student group for gay, lesbian, and bisexual, transgender, or questioning students and their allies at the University of Alabama.
Membership in Spectrum is open to all persons regardless of sexual orientation, race, creed, gender identification, national origin, physical ability, or health status.
Oh, and one of our favorites every year, Miss Terry, the Student Bar Association, the School of Law here at the University of Alabama. Their alums, pretty impressive list. Supreme Court Justice Hugo Black is an alum, for one. Also, Senators Howell Heflin and Richard Shelby, also Jeff Sessions, all alums of the University of Alabama School of Law, wearing, as always, their tuxedo tails.
I'm pointing at one of our good friends, Grace Prince, who is in my daughter's wedding.
Grace. I see Grace. Hey, Grace.
She's a good friend, and she'll be in Kristen's wedding.
Oh, really? And we're good friends, of course, with her parents. They're great people. I wouldn't have recognized Grace because she had her sunglasses on up there.
I think she has them on for a reason, Lynn.
They do like to travel with their solo cups. We'll put it that way.
Yeah.
Here's our Bravo Baton Company, owned by Fallon Evans, who's a former Crimsonette, the company right here in Tuscaloosa. They have twirlers from all across West Alabama, ages ranging from 4 all the way up to college. They have 90 students in the company this year. And of course, we picked out the very cutest ones to put in front of our cameras. A truck driven, by the way, by the Fred Robertson Wrecker Service. Our good friends over at Fred Robertson. We got members of the Northridge Marching Band following closely behind. This would be the high school nearest my house, the Northridge.
And mine as well.
Yes.
I love being able to hear them in a distance practice sometimes.
Now we have someone dressed like a banana coming through. So this is We do have at least a little bit of comedy in the parade today. That is Phi Mu, something you should be familiar with. The Phi Mus are always a lot of fun.
I can't quite figure out the banana. I'm still speechless.
It's a random banana. That's all you can say about that.
And they're having fun. Tied together. I do love the theme.
Tied together.
Tied together.
Gigi's Cupcakes. Oh, we wish we could have a cupcake.
I'm telling them they need to be throwing cupcakes.
Oh, it'd be nice to have one. We've got Chi Omega, the largest national women's fraternity. Chi Omega has collegiate and alumni chapters all across the U.S.
They're riding skateboards and bicycle built for two.
Roll, tie-dye, roll.
Oh, tie-dye.
Chi Omega having a great time, and I'm going to say they're one of the more colorful entries that we've seen today. And right now you're looking at Mr. Nelson's Bama Nation through James Rossi's camera. They're on street level. And check this out, the guys in the barrels following up.
And the barrels say, what, peace? Peace.
The kindergartners actually made that float. Kindergartners from Mountain Brook Elementary School. And their teacher, Mr. Nelson, just a huge Alabama fan.
He is.
Alpha Delta Pi. Their float says, let the tide roll in.
Oh, that's cute.
It's a beach theme. I love that.
Again, perfect weather for that theme.
And now nice and warm. And it's really starting to warm up a little bit today.
I think we'll be able to shed our heavy coats very soon, Lynn.
This is the Alabama Cinderella Scholarship Pageant. It's a youth development program. They offer cash and scholarship opportunities from ages all the way up to 26 from all over Alabama. Followed by Ashley Furniture Home Store. Big semi truck with an eagle that says Roll Tide Roll. You don't see that very often.
Are they still out on Skyland Boulevard, Lynn?
They have several locations
I know they have
here
one in
around
Birmingham.
Alabama, but yes, on Skyland here in Tuscaloosa, they sure are. Their second year to participate in the parade. They love being part of the University of Alabama and also part of the Tuscaloosa community.
Certainly we have a lot of new students every year who need furniture.
Yes, they do.
Out looking.
And if you're just joining us, you're watching coverage of the University of Alabama's 2014 Homecoming Parade right here on WVUA, Alabama's home team. So glad to be in your living room today. And First Lady of Alabama football, Terry Saban, is with us as always. It's become quite the homecoming tradition. We're having a great time out here and want to let the folks know at home, Terry, that if you're thinking about coming to the football game and you're kind of teetering, you don't know which way you want to go, I would say go ahead and get on out here. It feels great.
You really do need to come. There's nothing better to do, I would say, certainly in the county, there's nothing better to do on a beautiful day like this. Come and join the fun. I think the stadium will be just as much fun, and that's coming up pretty soon.
Oh,
very shortly.
Yes, this afternoon on SEC Network, you'll be able to see that game as well. MJ's Academy of Dance, always a favorite for us here in the Homecoming Parade. They're located in South Tuscaloosa. Over there you can learn jazz, ballet, tap, baton, hip hop, gymnastics. They pretty much run the gamut over there at MJ's. They do competitive dance. They've also raised some money to help find a cure for breast cancer. Sporting their houndstooth hats.
Another one of our favorite songs, Lynn. Sweet
Yes.
Home Alabama.
Sweet home.
I just saw a sign that said, "Remember Mal Moore," and I wanted to mention what a great job Bill Battle is doing, Bill and his wife Mary, but that Mal will never be forgotten. Certainly we miss him.
Yes.
And he did a lot of wonderful things for the university.
You know, you were talking earlier, Terry, about our facility in Bryant-Denny Stadium, the WVUA facility. Coach Mal Moore was instrumental in making that happen. So he's done so many things that you can see, but a lot of things you can't see. He had a big part in just making the University of Alabama a better place for so many of us.
He will not be forgotten.
And our cameras, I'm going to say, they tend to find the cutest kids.
I don't think they can miss. Well, the atmosphere is just dynamite. Everyone milling around, everyone having fun. Quite a large crowd watching the parade.
It's really amazing. I know we talked about it a little bit earlier, but it has seemed to build and build and build to the point now where the crowd is really going from the street all the way back to the campus buildings. I think the word's getting out, Terry, that it's a great day to come out and enjoy homecoming.
It is. A lot of houndstooth. And look at the crowd and look what they're wearing. A lot of red, a lot of houndstooth, a lot of shakers.
The International Girl Youth Development Program.
Speaking of shakers, Lynn, I love it when the athletic department sets shakers out in all of the seats. I know it's quite an expensive, they don't do it for every game, but the games where they do it, I think it's quite an impact when everyone has a shaker.
Yes. I know when I get to my seat in the zone, sometimes there's a shaker already there.
Yeah. And I know there are people who sponsor that, so if you are a fan and you ever want to sponsor, you think this certain game should have shakers, you can call and say, I want to sponsor it, and even have your logo put on the shaker.
I didn't know that.
Yes.
Interesting. And Terry, you're familiar with the Built by Bama truck.
Yes, that actually pulled up in front of our house in Florida before we came here and caused quite a stir.
So at that point, the secret was out. Is that what you're telling me?
There were helicopters flying overhead. It's a great truck, and it travels with us and takes all the equipment when we go to away games. Someone's blowing a kiss, so I'm blowing back.
Here's the Student Government Association from the University of Alabama.
The Homecoming Executive Committee. You don't think about it, but it takes a lot of planning to put this together, Lynn.
Oh, it does. I should mention the Homecoming Executive Committee actually works really hard putting together the lineup, because as you might imagine, Miss Terry, when people enter, then they decide they can't, or they're constantly adjusting, and they really help us a lot for this broadcast. Get the lineup that we need to be able to put together this show, so we appreciate them very much.
There's really a lot of logistics that go into putting this together, and the security and the traffic pattern. It's a lot of work.
Well, we are just wrapping up the actual parade itself, but we still have a few more minutes with you, so stick around. More live coverage from the University of Alabama after this very short break.
That's a perfect coat, too.
Welcome back to our live coverage of Homecoming 2014 here on WVUA. And we've been with you throughout the morning and have shown you a lot of incredible things here along University Boulevard. one thing you weren't able to see is something that just happened in the commercial break. An Alabama fan just came up to our stage, and you've got a gift, Miss Terry.
This is
Let's see
so
this.
beautiful. This lady over here just handed me this gorgeous, I don't know if it's knit or crochet, but it's an Afghan, and it says Alabama Roll Tide.
Well, I've just been handed a note, and this was handmade by Betty Satterfield.
Miss Betty, thank you. We're going to fight over this every night. Thank you.
That is so sweet.
It's beautiful. A lot of work into that.
Wow, that is so sweet.
I will covet this. Thank you.
That'll be
very nice.
You can bring that out with you every homecoming. If it's colder next year, be sure
I'll
to bring
do
it
over my shoulders.
Now that I know you have a warm blanket,
We'll
you
share.
You better bring it. Well, as we wrap up today, I want to remind you that the parade is just the beginning of a long day of festivities here on the University of Alabama campus. WVUA's Danny Salter joins us now. And Danny, tell us all about all the great events happening today.
Hey guys, thanks a bunch. There's still a pretty good bit of time left before kickoff at 3 o'clock. If you're looking for something to do and you're hanging out on the quad or on the strip or around Bryant-Denny Stadium, you can walk right down the street, right down University Boulevard, and go to the Bryant Museum. They're going to be open until 4 o'clock today. If it's been a little while since you've been by, be sure to check it out because they've got some great new exhibits, especially one about Big Al and how Big Al became the mascot for the University of Alabama, the story behind the elephant. The kids really enjoy that one. Also, if you're hungry, you don't have to go far. Right over on the quad, there's all kinds of food vendors. You'll find Chick-fil-A, you'll find Jim and Nick's. If you want to walk down towards the strip, right when you get off campus, you'll see Benny's Hot Dog stand. Be sure to check it out and tell them Danny sent you because they've got a great deal on the Crimson Tide Dog. It's yummy, yummy. I'll probably be having one of those myself here shortly. Also, there's a massive 40-foot huge television just on the other side of Pfeiffer Hall. If you're a football fan, swing by, check it out. They're going to have highlights from the season. They'll also be showing interviews with some of your favorite Bama coaches and players. There's tons of fun things to do on the quad. If you've got your family here with you, the kids, be sure to check out the alumni tent and the arts and sciences tent. They've got some fun family-friendly activities over there and a massive bouncy house, a huge inflatable thing that looks like Big Al. The weather's gorgeous right now. Hopefully it's going to stay gorgeous up until kickoff at 3 o'clock. Richard, come on over here and join me. What are we looking at for the rest of the day?
Hey, Danny, really nice for the rest of the day. In fact, we were talking about temperatures back in the upper 60s. We got some sunshine, clouds starting to roll in. If you're going to the game, a lot of folks are wondering what's going to happen for the game day. The rain holds off. Here's the forecast for the rest of today, and now here's the game day forecast. Again, we're talking about 60s at Bryant-Denny Stadium. This is perfect game weather. If you got plans outdoors, if you're heading to Bryant-Denny, if you're going to be tailgating, this is what we're talking about. A little bit of a breeze out of the east-southeast around 10, but we don't have any rain to talk about for the rest of the day. The rain will likely arrive overnight tonight, Danny, so we are looking good for the rest of the day.
All right, super. Thanks, Richard. Lynn, Terry, back to you.
All right, thanks a lot, Danny and Richard. And wow, great forecast for today, Miss Terry. So you won't have any need to wrap up in the blanket, although you can use that later on when it gets a little chillier.
I might bring it for luck.
Now, you can add this to your collection at home. And speaking of home, I hope that finally, after this many seasons in Tuscaloosa, you finally don't have any more boxes to unpack. I know when we very first started doing this together, you were slowly having to unpack boxes, but you guys you're settled in here in Tuscaloosa, right?
Well, I really would like to say in all sincerity how grateful, how happy we are to be here, to be settled, to feel like it's home. Our whole family is here and settled, and I feel like we actually have friends, not just supporters, not just donors, but really true friends here. And it's just such a joy to be a part of it all. We're just very grateful. I'm very grateful.
It must feel really good, and I can't imagine having how many times did you move?
No, we're 16, 17.
Wow.
I've kind of lost track.
Several. You've seen a lot of moving trucks.
But I actually have to clean house now and take the drapes and clean them and things I never had to do before. So
I can imagine it must feel really good to really feel a part of this community.
It does. Well, we're very blessed.
Well, and we're very blessed to have the Sabans here. We really love it, and I love working with you every year, Miss Terry. It's always so much fun, and if you guys at home could see, if you think she's fun on the air, you should see how much fun that she is back behind the scenes, because we really have a great time.
Do I have just a minute to say, speaking of friends that we've made here, there's a little boy that has our prayers, Fuller Goldsmith.
Yes.
He's in Children's Hospital right now with his family. He just had a bone marrow transplant, so please pray for him. He's a great little fan and a great young man, and he his dad said that he doesn't eat anything without dipping it in Nick's Kids barbecue sauce. So you gotta love him.
You've got to love him for that.
We're praying for you, Fuller.
Oh, we're praying for you, Fuller. I hope that you are feeling better soon. And as we wrap up today, we want to say some thank yous to all the people who helped make this happen today. It takes a lot of help. Special thanks to Krispy Kreme for providing breakfast for our staff this morning. That was delicious. We love that. Also, special thanks to Tuscaloosa Flower Shop. They provided this beautiful table decoration. So if you like that, they came from Tuscaloosa Flower Shop.
Would look nice on my Thanksgiving table.
It really would. You know, if that disappears, I'll know what happened to
we'll
it.
We'll flip for it.
You're going to wrap it up in that blanket probably. Also, another thank you to today's sponsor, the broadcast sponsor today, Alpha, our good friends at Alpha. This would not be possible without you. And to the Nut Shop for providing a very nice gift for Miss Terry. She'll be nibbling on that later and giving that to her house guests. And Chamblee Clevenger provided our hair and makeup today. She was our stylist today. And finally, it takes a very large team of very dedicated people to make this happen. We can see all these individuals, but you can't. But the folks working behind the scenes have really done a fantastic job, from our staff and especially our large contingent of students as well, to make all this happen. So as we say goodbye today, you'll see some names scrolling across your television screen. Take a look at those names, and those are the individuals who really put this all together and made it happen. So on that note, we're going to say goodbye today. We hope that you're having a chance to get down and enjoy the game this afternoon. And on behalf of Miss Terry Saban and myself, have a great day and roll Tide.
This has been live coverage of the University of Alabama's Homecoming Parade on WVUA.